Welcome to Cory's Stories. Are you ready to meditate with Cory? Hi friends, make sure that you subscribe and you like this video, and also press the bell because the bell will let you know when a new video comes out. If you love Heidi Cherry and Vaya, make sure that you go to the link below and you join the Patreon group. Then you'll be part of the Cat Club and you'll get 3 exclusive stories every month for just $7 a month. I hope you enjoy the meditation. I love you. Bye. Are you ready to meditate with Cory? Make sure that you're all comfortable and snug as a bug in your bed. The lights are just right. You're wearing your comfortable pajamas. And you're ready to relax your body and let go of your day. It was the middle of the night and Heidi, Cherry and Vaya were fast asleep. Cherry was dreaming about being kicked. In her dream, she was being kicked by a horse. And ever so often, she'd get kicked and then she'd say, "Ow! What on earth?" in her dream. And then something else had happened in her dream. And then she'd get kicked again. And the last time that it happened, she got kicked right in the ribs, and it woke her up. It woke her up, and she saw Heidi squirming all over the cat bed, kicking her legs around, whimpering as if she was really, really scared. Cherry gave Heidi a good shake, and Heidi woke up. She was breathing really deep. Oh, that was awful. Oh, it was awful. Oh. Cherry said, "OMG, Heidi, what was happening? I kept getting kicked, right? I was like, this horse is normally a nice horse because I've dreamed about this horse before and I always like this horse. It's a nice horse. She's white and she's got a pretty black patch around her eye. And I'm like, oh, I like this horse. And then she kept kicking me and I was like, why is she kicking me? What's wrong with her? It weren't my horse, was it? It was you. You were kicking me while you were asleep. What were you doing?" By now, Vaya had woke up as well. She was listening to them talk about whatever they were talking about, rubbing her paws on her eyes. It was still dark because it was the middle of the night, but it was a full moon outside and the moonlight was shining in through the room, so she could see her sisters' faces. Heidi looked really scared. Vaya said, What happened? Are you okay? Do you need me to go get you a cup of chamomile tea or something? Heidi said, "Oh yeah, that would be really nice, thank you, Vaya. I had the worst nightmare." Vaya got up and walked out of the room and went to go make her sister a cup of chamomile tea. Hopefully the chamomile would make her calm down, feel calmer, and eventually help her to fall back to sleep. While she was gone, Cherry said, "Oh, I hate those. I really don't like nightmares. Nightmares are like the worst thing in the world because you feel so out of control and everything in your dream feels so real, doesn't it? It's so real." Heidi said, "Yeah, it was awful. I was being chased by this really big dinosaur and its teeth were really, really big and it was slavering and drooling and it was making really deep growling sounds. And I kept running and I kept tripping over and then I kept picking myself back up and trying to run again and then in my dream, I wasn't running very far. It was like I was running on the spot. Cherry said, OMG, that sounds so familiar. So familiar. I've had a dream like that, Heidi. I had a dream once, right, where I was playing soccer, right, on the football field. And I was with all these really good soccer players, and I was doing my best, and I was trying to perform my best. And I was like making all my soccer fancy moves. I was dribbling the ball. I was like running in out of the other cats, like showing them how good I was. I was like bouncing the ball on my knee, doing all my soccer tricks right. And then when it came to play the game, I couldn't run. And I was like, OMG, I'm going to get chucked off the soccer team. This is going to be the end of my life. Heidi said, well, it was like that, but I think it was a lot worse than that, Cherry. I was being chased by a dinosaur, not playing soccer. Heidi was a little bit frustrated with the fact that Cherry was just thinking that her soccer dream was the same as Heidi's nightmare. It was not. Heidi's nightmare was really, really upsetting and stressful, to the point where she was actually sweating. She was shaking. Her little palms on her paws were all wet, and her little paws were shaking. Cherry said, OMG, I'm so sorry. So sorry, Heidi. Yeah, no, it's not the same. It just reminded me a little bit of that, but it's not. You're right. It's definitely not. Because it wasn't a nightmare. I mean, the only nightmare thing about it was I couldn't show him how fast I was running. So frustrating. And I was just stood there on the spot, right? And I'm like running. My little paws are like kicking up dirt and everything. And I wasn't moving. I wasn't going anywhere. And I was like, oh no, this is like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm doing it again. Anyway, yeah, no, you tell me about your dream. You tell me about not your dream. You tell me about your nightmare because it sounds horrific. Sounds awful, OMG. What happened? Heidi said, well, I was all alone, and it was the morning time because I remember in my dream the sun had just come up, and I was really enjoying the sky because it was all purple and pink and orange. It was a really nice, like, sunrise. And I was thinking, wow, this is beautiful. And I was thinking about sunrises and, you know, the different times. Anyway, I was distracted with all the facts about different sunrises and different times and where they rise, whether it's the west or the east. And anyway, so I was distracted. And then I heard this sound. Roar! It was a really bad roar, like a roar, like a really, really loud roar. Like, sorry if I'm making you jump, but it was really loud. And I jumped, and then I was looking around frantically, couldn't see anything. And then through the trees started to sway, and then the trees started to fall down, and I heard giant, loud cracks as the trees fall down to the ground and smashed on the ground. Cherry sat there, very enthralled. Her eyes got really big, and she could feel her breathing get faster, like she was actually getting scared listening to the dream, the nightmare. Then, Heidi said, and then this giant, absolutely bigger than like a 50-story building dinosaur ran through the trees and headed my way. And I stood up and I panicked, and then I thought, I need to run. And up ahead there was like this cliff, and there was a crack in the cliff, and I thought, maybe I can get into that crack and then the dinosaur can't get me. Maybe it's a cave or something that the dinosaur can't get in because it's too big, but I can get in because I'm a cat. And I was trying to run. Oh, Cherry, I was trying so hard. I was trying, and I was moving my feet, moving my paws, and I was kicking them all over the place. And that's probably when I kicked you, by the way. I'm sorry about that. And then I was like kicking and pushing forward, and there was nothing happening. I couldn't run. And the dinosaur was getting closer and closer. And as it got closer, I could see it was slavering, and its teeth looked really big and pointy. And I was like, it's going to eat me. Oh gosh, this is awful. It's going to eat me. That's the end. That's the end of me. I'm done. I'm like a dinosaur snack. Cherry said, oh my gosh, sorry to interrupt and everything, but I just have to say, some dinosaurs don't eat meat. Heidi said, Cherry, this one did. Cherry said, oh, sorry. Just saying, some like grass, some like, they're not carnivores, they're herbalists. Heidi said, you mean herbivores? Yeah, that too, yeah. Anyway, go on. And that was it, said Heidi. Luckily, you woke me up. By this time, Vaya came back in the room with a cup of chamomile tea. She sat down and she very calmly said, do you remember that time that Cory told us about what to do with nightmares? Heidi and Cherry looked at each other and couldn't think of the time that Vaya was talking about. And Vaya said, oh, no, it was just me, that's right. I'd been having these really bad dreams. I'd been having a dream about someone breaking in and taking all of my princess dresses. It was awful. And I know it sounds as if it wasn't that scary, but to me, it was like a really bad nightmare. And I was telling Cory one time when she came over, and Cory said, what you have to do is realize that you are in charge of your dreams. And if there's something happening that's scary in your nightmare or in your dream, then you can change it. Heidi said, you can change your dream? Vaya said, yeah, it's like, for example, if I was worried about someone coming in and taking my princess dresses, Cory said the next time I have that dream, because I kept having it over and over, she said, the next time I have that dream, all I need to know is that when the person breaks in to take my princess dresses, I just say, oh, hello. And I make friends with them. And then I say, do you want to play and do you want to dress up and wear princess dresses with me? And I make friends with the scary thing in my dream. That's the secret. So for you, if you have the dream again and the dinosaur is chasing you, you just turn around and know that in your dream, you can't get hurt because in your dream, you can just wake yourself up. And then you turn around and you say, oh, hi, dinosaur. Do you want to be friends? And I bet you any money, Cory is right. And the dinosaur just stops and says, oh, yeah, that's why I was chasing you. Heidi said, I find that hard to believe. She was just staring into space, sipping on her chamomile tea, which was delicious, and it was making her feel calmer. It was warm and snuggly, like a blanket, and when she swallowed, she could feel it go down inside, warming all her insides up, as if someone was hugging her from the inside. And the chamomile herbs started to do their magic. She started to calm down. Heidi sat in the middle of Cherry and Vaya, and they hugged on her, and she talked some more about how scared she was, how the dream was awful, how she was scared to go to sleep. It was that bad. She was scared to go back to sleep. Cherry and Vaya promised that they would hold her paws as she fell to sleep, and she needed to do what Cory said. If the dinosaur came back in her dream, she was to turn around and make friends with it. Everybody settled down as if they were going to go back to sleep. The room eventually got quiet, and Heidi fell asleep. Cherry and Vaya then fell asleep after her. Heidi found herself back in the same nightmare. At first she wasn't. At first she was just staring at the sunrise again. But then she heard it, the loud banging as the dinosaur feet hit the ground, the crunching as the trees crashed and fell to the ground, the horrible snarling sound. She turned around, and at first she panicked and instantly tried to run. And then she remembered, I am in control of my dream. I can make friends and I can change this dream. She stood her ground, and as the dinosaur was pounding towards her, slaver flying everywhere, snarling horrible sounds, it started to slow down a little bit as it got closer to her. And then she put a big, big smile on her face, and she said, "Hi, my name's Heidi," as confident as ever. "Do you want to be friends?" The dinosaur screeched. Dirt flew up in the air. It finally just managed to stop. Right there in front of her, so close. A big drop of slaver landed on the top of her head, and the dinosaur brought his big, ginormous head down to her level as she was smiling away. "Do you want to play a game? We can play chase. You look really good at running." The dinosaur said, "Oh, I'm so happy to meet you. Oh, I've been looking for someone to play with." Heidi let out the biggest sigh and started playing chase with the dinosaur. When she woke up the next morning, she told Cherry and Vaya that it worked. Everything worked. She couldn't believe it worked. She got all of her confidence back. She wasn't worried about falling to sleep anymore, for sure, because, she realized it was true. When you're having a nightmare, you have to just change it. You can change your dreams. You change it, and you change it so whatever it is that's scaring you doesn't scare you anymore. You make friends with it. Or you change the story so it works, that you're not scared. You're actually very happy and safe, and it turns into a good dream. From then on, Heidi didn't worry about her dinosaur dream, her dinosaur nightmare, anymore, because she knew she could just make friends with whoever turned up in her dream, and she could be the boss. She could be in complete control. And that made her feel so much more secure. And she wasn't scared of going back to sleep ever. She was good. It was all good. The end.